physical science classroom because to be honest with you, it was a path of least resistance, so we were able to get into this classroom. But I do see, we are exploring other domains, and I mentioned a minute ago my friend Kurt used civilization in a middle school history class or social studies class. And I do have a group of folks in my class who are social studies majors, and they're interested in using civilization in either a late middle or high school setting. There are also, games for mathematics and other disciplines. So I certainly see other opportunities here. I just, again, focusing on science. So I did put in the parenthetical other domains, and then I changed it from how it might be taught, because this is one case, and it's in one location with one classroom, one teacher, and maybe 30 students. And so I want to be careful about generalizing beyond that population. So I'm being a little bit maybe equivocal and not making strong, but maybe more petite claims about how you might generalize this beyond this particular classroom and perhaps this particular domain. So it's very much a contextualized study. And to be honest with you, that kind of fits in with a more ethnographic treatment, that I'm talking about this particular setting, how it, what it might be like, but as they say, your mileage might vary, if you wanted to pick this up. So I do get the question sort of why I want to study games, and I want to get to that too in a moment. I talked a little bit about it. I see a lot of value in terms of titles off the shelf and what sort of experiences kids have in them. And just, I'm not wanting to get too pedantic, but G.A.M.E.R used the terms projective identities and semiotic domains, which he's coming from a linguistics background and very much focusing on signs and symbols, which maybe in communication might have some relations. Where this is leading us is thinking about games in terms of an ecology, which is another perspective we're trying to promote, that we're not looking just at a game per se, but the game as it's enacted by players, and also the community that forms around that game as well. So we're using this term in ecology, that it's not just an individual unit, but it's unit within a system. A little bit of a foreshadowing that, do games really represent the types of learning that we're trying to promote in education? A lot of folks are saying yes, but I still want that to be a question more than perhaps a statement. And I was going to bleed a little bit over to the virtual world work, because again, I see folks who are perhaps interested in game titles. They're all also interested in virtual worlds, and I do see. I'm trying to work on a continuum as well, that game titles like Spore, and perhaps mentioned Lord of the Rings and World of Warcraft. Now when you play a game, it's not usually, well, the benefits of the game aren't reaching to you, so you're in a sort of a networked environment. And even what I like about Spore, they call it a massive single-player game, in that you're building your own creatures, but you can share them with others. You can download others' creatures. You're not competing with other folks, but you're sort of sharing your artifacts with other folks, and you're part of a larger universe, although you're sort of in control of your section of that universe. And this is just my creature, and so what I find fascinating is maybe getting into the notion of projecting identities. Is I see myself in that world, and I try to pull back out and see how it applies to my real life world as well. And so the reason I picked up Spore is that you have this control of your creatures, and you can really shape it into how you want it to be. And I've already sort of gone into this, but as I mentioned, I'm very interested in going out and maybe being a bit, I don't know, seeing, introducing certain technologies and media into classrooms and just seeing what's going to happen. I want to be careful not to leave teachers hanging. I got a phone call yesterday from a teacher saying, "Are you sure you're going to come out and show me how this works, and make sure the students understand?" Because a legitimate concern that I see out in the field is that the kids are all into it. Like, cool, let's try this title. Yeah, I got an iPod at home. I play certain game titles. And it's really the teachers and parents who are much more cautious, because they're not involved in this, and they, number one is they want to make sure their children aren't getting into some endeavor that they shouldn't be. Number two is they don't want to look dumb in front of the kids. So if the kids are saying, "Can you help me how do I do this with this certain title? And the teachers don't know, they don't want to be, represented as a non-expert in the classroom. So, this is a dilemma that we face. This is not new to games, but because I'm all about introducing new technologies into the classroom. It sort of reproduces itself, that whenever a new technology is introduced, there's going to be caution and conservative sort of position there, because they're saying, wait a second, I don't know how this thing works, who's going to fix it if it's broken, and I don't know if we can support that, etc. So I just had, but when things really come together, to me they kind of look like this.
Put it aside and click it backward. Searching.
So they're looking for each other?
Yeah, they will find each other in like 2 seconds. Okay.
Hold it right there.
My name's is Fishy, I'm blue.
Can you?
I didn't mean to do that. What I wanted is, I meant to pause it. I meant to set this up, but this is one of the classrooms we're introducing the iPods, and really we're working with the teachers to let them sort of, in a grassroots effort, find interesting ways for both themselves and the kids to use the technology. In this case, they found a game called Mancala, which is a collaborative game, sort of like backgammon type of game where you take turns, and with the iPod touches, because they can do peer-to-peer networking, you can have this exchange. So when I walked in and saw the kids, I had not known about this until I walked into the classroom. But when they just picked up the iPods and started going, I was just totally blown away. Like, the way they're adopting this technology is beyond my expectations. So I did just sort of emphasize that I have a lot of confidence in the kids being able to adopt these technologies.
And then you flip it to the side and click it backward and searching.
So they're looking for each other?
Yeah, they will find each other in like 2 seconds. Okay.
Yeah, hold it right there.
My name's is Fishy, I'm blue.
Can you name your iPod?
Yes, you have to go. She named it Fishy. So you have to go to settings at the beginning.
Okay.
And
I'm
then
asking you to hold this on here a little bit so I can see there.
And
You
then
hold it
you,
side by side?
and then you click the one you want. And it says return, so you go to the other.
So how are you guys playing together?
We came together. You have to press, put them together, and
Okay.
then they'll find each other.
I mean, how does it, are you sharing with her? You're sharing some of those with her when you push it?
Yes. Yeah. It's not working.
Okay, show me the chat feature.
You click chat, and then you just say,
Like good job or something? Like yo. Okay, yo. Or you can say yo yo, I guess.
like that. See, and so you go, and then chat, you can go again, and it shows you which ones.
So where does the chat show up on hers? Oh, I see, yeah. Very nice.
And then sometimes you just push quicker, and you can scroll down this.
Oh, very
And
nice.
it says, like it one, let me like, make sure it's your friend.
I'm just interested in how they happen to pick up this game. Number one is they found this game on their own with the help of the teacher. Number two is the teacher is willing to give them space to play the game in the classroom, because she sees the value of them doing some problem solving, doing some collaborative work. And then I'm fascinated just by the features that are available in that particular game. So they can do both peer-to-peer, sort of cooperative, or even some competitive play. But also there's a chat feature. So there, I talked about earlier, so the ecology here is it's not just the game, but then there's communication going around the game. That's really, that was sort of an opportune moment, spontaneous moment, but I'm for us, we're thinking about how we might reproduce those moments for more purposeful or more intentional opportunities. But that's also sort of me liking to go out into the field and see, how they adopt these technologies without too much direction for me, just to see how they find value in these tools. And it's very much dependent upon sort of grade level and age, because this is an elementary classroom, and there's more freedom as far as the teachers spending more time with the kids and being able to accommodate, something going a little bit longer, going a little bit shorter. Whereas in middle school, they're much more tied to evaluation metrics, and also they don't stay with the same teacher throughout the day, and so there are constraints and barriers that we have to think about. But certainly in the elementary classroom, the kids are just all over the technology. So the reason I'm interested in games